to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everyone? It's Roger and James here from DisKingdom.com with your weekly Disney video game podcast. And on this week's show, we're going to be discussing the rumors of the Marvel Vs Capcom 4 game. We're also going to be discussing a load of Moana apps and games that have come out, and also just talking about a few other bits and pieces. So it's been a couple of weeks since we actually spoke to you, James. So you've been over here in London and Scotland. Did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. You have a lovely country, although I think Scotland is the better of the two in terms of countryside. Although I only saw London, which is not countryside.
No. I must admit Scotland is beautiful. But yeah, London is very its own little microclimate in basically, we go to London on holiday. That's it's very different.
London, I mean, obviously it's very touristy now, but there's a lot of history. Got to see some cool things. Saw the Tower of London, the Crown Jewels, Buckingham Palace, etc. It's kind of weird because when you're in London as an American, you can kind of mentally feel like you're still in America because it's very similar. Yeah. And then someone will say something and you're like, oh, right, England. They've got palaces and it's called a lift and stuff like that.
Yes, and things are pronounced and spelt properly and without Zs and stuff.
You've got your Zs, but you also have your superfluous Us, like armor, color.
Rumor.
Just like, So, it's all good.
It's good. It is that kind of funny thing, I think, as well, with, I think especially now with, like, globalization of how much we are all kind of in sync with so much stuff, news, TV, companies and stuff. So, in part of it is you feel quite familiar, and then there's those little differences that make it different. Same thing for when we go to the States. Like, New York feels very different to, like, Utah or something like that.
Right. I think the biggest thing is, the city feels very modern, and then every once in a while you hear, well, that pub was built in 880. Like, oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah, that's 700 years before, or 900 years before America even existed. So,
yeah. And then a tiny little pub in the corner. But, so that's cool. So, actually, the last couple of weeks, there's not been a huge amount of news. However, there's been a big, sort of rumor with a U that came out over the weekend with Marvel Vs. Capcom 4 is apparently set to be announced at PlayStation Experience. There's been a whole host of news coming on NeoGAF. There's been a couple of, leaked pictures. I did just post a story up on the website. I'm kind of in the belief that that the images probably look quite fake, but a lot of people are saying there's a lot of chattering going on about tests and betas, and I don't think this is a big surprise at all. This is the most talked about thing for Marvel. Even they've said themselves they get this request a lot.
Yeah, this would not be any sort of surprise. Actually, the only surprise is how long it's taken them to do a sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it's the right time for it. The fighting genre is on a return. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, even Injustice. Injustice.
Yeah.
It's in the public eye again, and we're starting to see them pop up a lot more.
I was kind of surprised because I wasn't too sure if we might have seen a Contest of Champions console port, but I think with Marvel outsourcing to different companies, going to Capcom is a good idea because they've already got that history. They've already got the fighting console system worked out. Be good for esports, fighting networks. But I was also thinking now with the digital system of the way they're doing it, I could easily see them doing events like they've done. They do with Street Fighter 2. They bring in a new character and stuff. Say Doctor Strange, where they suddenly bring in a Doctor Strange character and some character. That kind of ties into it a lot better now. That ties into their overall brand, I think, a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think they want to keep Contest of Champions its own thing, but at the same time, as a person who doesn't care even the slightest about Capcom's group of characters, I would have preferred if we had just gotten a Marvel title or an Avengers title.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it still might be, but I think Marvel vs. Capcom 4 makes the most sense right now.
This kind of thing with Capcom is okay, you got Mega Man, but for me, there's a Street Fighter 2. That's pretty much the Street Fighter is Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, chuck in all the Street Fighter things. Now, whether is that kind of thing. I know that Street Fighter 5 has been having lots of issues since that one come in. I mean, it's slowly been building up. I've been seeing it on the Black Friday sales. I was tempted because I've been a big Street Fighter 2 fan since as far back as I can ever remember. I had Marvel Superheroes. We only talked about this recently. on the PlayStation. And I've played both. And I've got both 1 or 2 and 3 of Marvel vs. Capcom. So for me, this sounds good. I'd love to see this. I'm hoping that we will see something announced this weekend because we really haven't got a lot kind of not we know about.
Yeah. And I mean, this makes additional sense because mashups in fighting games appears to be the thing that's in right now.
Yeah.
You got Smash Bros. Over on the Nintendo, which just has every character you could ever possibly imagine in it. Injustice will get characters like Freddy Krueger. Mortal Kombat will get characters like Predator. And I mean, they've been doing this since what? When the original came out on the PlayStation 2? PlayStation 1?
Yeah. PlayStation 1 was the... I don't know because it was... Marvel vs. Marvel Superheroes was...
on the PS.
On the PS1, yeah. I don't know if it was Marvel vs. Capcom. I think that was PS... yeah, PS1 or PS2.
I think it might have been PS2, but either way, they've been doing this for a very long time, and of course now fighting games are popular. Fighting games across properties are popular, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a straight in. It's it's a very requested game. Like you say, having just Marvel would probably be more better for us as Marvel fans, but it's got brand recognition. Marvel just want to get content out there, and I think they've been very much about they want to make different type of games for different kind of people, and I think PlayStation X, I think we're going to see. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a few Marvel announcements. Actually, I think there's we got about 3 Marvel games set ready to. Obviously we got Spider-Man. Now we got Marvel vs. Capcom 4. We've also got Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale that hasn't officially been revealed yet. But I think that one might be Game Awards where they might reveal that one because they did that with the Batman one last year. And then also the console port of Marvel Heroes. I wouldn't at all be surprised to hear about that as well in the coming weeks.
And possibly, although this is mostly just us making stuff up, would be a Lego Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe.
Yes.
There are hints towards it, but obviously nothing official. So.
Yeah, because it's that kind of thing. If like now we have like PSX and then we have Game Awards, and then like January, February, March, everything kind of just titters off, and there's not really a lot around for a bit. And now also companies seem to be at that point with these different events. They for each event they want to have a big name or rather than chucking everything out for E3. Those days seem to have been sort of disappearing now.
Yeah, I think we get a much more spread out announcement cycle, which is better for everybody because you go to E3 back in the day and it was just you could forget or even miss games coming out or being announced. Sorry, I picked up a cold in London too, so my throat's a little sore.
It's a Scottish one. It wasn't an English one.
No, it's definitely the English one because I have had a burning desire for tea and biscuits for the last week or so, so it's definitely English.
Yeah, and that's biscuits not with gravy, by the way. We have proper biscuits here.
Oh, no, these are proper biscuits. And tea, just the way the Queen makes.
Yes.
So.
But no, it's looking good. And also I'm wondering now with these kind of this leak and also Guardians of the Galaxy, whether or not they'll just want to get some news out on this. If the rumor mills are churning around, they will kind of want to maybe gain control of it a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, like you said, the only official game that we have on the roster is Spider-Man. So they need to get news out there just to keep, the hype ball rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the Lego one, I think it really depends on Lego Rogue One. I mean, there's a big Lego Worlds announcement coming this week from Lego. They've been teasing it on Twitter for it feels like an eternity. Today's nothing down to 1, so I'm hoping either today or tomorrow we'll actually find out some stuff on this Lego World. Now, I don't think that's connected to anything, but obviously, if Lego are announcing a big title this week or in the next couple of weeks, it just puts back another announcement for other content. Because in fairness, the Lego Dimension stuff, it seems to be kind of dwindling up a little bit in terms of there's not really anything now till February, and that all seems to be slowing down just in time probably for a Rogue One or Guardians of the Galaxy in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I did go and pick up Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find It, whatever it's called. Haven't played it yet because I haven't seen the movie, but hopefully I'll see it this week.
Yeah, I am hoping to see it tomorrow. We did sort of make a little bit of plan yesterday to go see it. I'm going to be honest. Again, I did pick up the Sonic Adventure Pack, but all I keep hearing about is all these sort of horror stories of stuff going wrong with it, and I'm a bit like, you know what? I've got Watch Dogs, so I'll just carry on playing that until they sort it all out. But yeah, it does seem a little bit odd. There's been lots of big sales. I mean, I know like Disney Infinity, I think they would do a buy one get free things free.
Yeah,
you know, there was plenty of stuff with that one. But I might as well just quickly touch on some of the there was lots of Black Friday deals. I think Star Wars Battlefront was really heavily discounted. You could get that one for like $15-20 on all the different platforms. Like Steam, they had a big like 75% off stuff. Deadpool was off on you could find that one pretty cheap. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, most of the games have been reduced. Lego Star Wars on all the different platforms. Not a big surprise, but nothing. I must admit, nothing I've actually picked up because I've got pretty much all of them. But I did pick up Watch Dogs 2, so that's what I've been playing the last couple of weeks.
I've been playing the walking simulator known as Walking Around London and Edinburgh and Inverness. So, I haven't actually played that many games. I played some Disney Emoji Blitz and Disney Magic Kingdoms, getting ready for looks like a Frozen event. Frozen event. There is a Frozone event going on right now for collecting coins or something. But
I must admit, I find this quite cool that they seem to be using this there's like a little mini Incredibles event going on this month. There's not really being hyped too much. Unfortunately, Frozone is this week's event, which I've already had. I'm waiting for the next couple of weeks where I can get. Mr. Incredible and Violet are the two that I didn't get when they were in the first one. So I really need to knuckle down and try and get them sorted. I really got to pay a lot more attention probably next week when that event kicks off to try and get Violet and Mr. Incredible I'm sure they're going to be coming. Seems to be a way of them getting hold of those characters.
I'm hoping that they will in some form or other allow you to get Syndrome because he's the character I'm missing. I assume he'll be the last one on the list because he was the villain of the event. And then once that's done, hopefully we'll just jump straight into the Frozen event, and it sounds like it's going to be an event rather than a release.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing like Frozen. I'm guessing this is going to be their big Christmassy kind of holiday event for like the last couple of weeks of December, January, when everything's frozen. Kind of. I mean, it makes sense to do it now rather than in the summer, but no, it should be good. I'm sure, and apparently the game's doing very well in Japan. So no, it's cool. I mean, I keep picking it up. A couple of times a day and blasting through it, so it seems to be doing quite well. Anything else you want to add on that one?
No, not too much. I think I ended up playing a lot of Disney Emoji Blitz, which I mentioned, and I got Maui from Moana, which is another movie I have to see, which I hear very good things about, so I'm hoping to see that this week. It's
a little bit later for us. We don't get it for a few more weeks yet. I think they're holding that one for the Christmas holidays because we don't have Thanksgiving. It was kind of a bit of an odd wait because it feels like with Thanksgiving, because America stops, everything just it's like the news just like literally like the last 4 or 5 days of like news for the site. I'm like frantically just like, is there anything I can report on? There's like everything just closed down. And it's that kind of, I know like the Canadians as well, we're just like, you do know we're all still open.
No, you're not. Everyone celebrates Thanksgiving, whether you're American or not. Actually, that's kind of true.
Yeah. Well, especially Black Friday, which is kind of just, one of those big things now that seems to have come over. As you said, Moana came to Emoji Blitz. Moana was also brought to Story Central, Jigsaw. It came to Disney Crossy Road. They also, just trying to think, it pretty much came to all of the different platforms. They also released a brand new game called Moana Rhythm Run. I can't pronounce that one very well. It's a paid app, and you go through and it's running. I did do a Let's Play, and you're jumping up and down. I've still got to do my review because I'm trying to play it a little bit more to try and see if it changes too much because at the minute, every level I'm playing feels very, very similar. And I'm hoping to see if I can play as Maui or something because that might sort of change how I view the game. I'm going to be honest, at the minute, slightly underwhelmed would be one word for it. For a paid app, I was expecting a little bit more because you literally just jump and hit. And I know it's a rhythm runner and you're supposed to do a little bit. It feels like a massive step back from what they did with the Finding Dory Just Keep Swimming app, which I think was a lot. That was a really good actual platformer. That was a lot of fun to play. The Rhythm one, I'm not kind of, with that Finding Dory one, I plowed through those levels and I really enjoyed playing it. It felt like a proper game. This one, I'm just bounce, jump, hit, smash, bounce. I don't know. Maybe it's just the type of game. I think, especially like with Super Mario coming out in a couple of weeks, I think that's gonna rejuvenate this whole genre. And when Nintendo get into it, it might show that you've got to up your game a little bit. I think for $4.99 for this Moana Rhythm Run, it's okay. The fact you're not getting bombarded with adverts and buy this, buy that, extra levels and stuff is good. And I personally feel we need to move over more to paid apps to get a better experience. But this one, I don't know. I'm kind of. It's definitely at the minute. It's feeling quite average. I'm not overly blown away with it. I really enjoyed that Finding Dory Just Keep Swimming. I think I could easily recommend that one. There's a lot of. This one's very much more middle of the road.
Well, I can't speak to it because I only just found out about it about 2 days ago, and I have not purchased it. And then, based on your glowing review right there, I don't think I'm going to purchase it either.
It's a kind of odd. I think it's like I said, it's okay. It's not groundbreaking. It's not an amazing experience. I do think for a couple of, it almost feels a little bit too pricey. If it was $2.99. I think it's a good experience for kids to play and they could enjoy it if they like other running games. But I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it. It just doesn't. There needs a little bit more variety in it. Maybe it's just because I'm only about 20 levels in. I think there's about 80 levels, so there's quite a lot of stuff in it. But it's like I said, very average. It feels like I don't know. It just feels a little bit like there could have been so much more. And it just, to be honest, this whole Moana, I'm just sitting here looking at those Moana pictures of the Disney Infinity characters and go, we would have had a playset this week.
We would have. I think we even had some pictures of it.
Yeah.
The packaging and all that. And it's just, but we don't. Mm-hmm. And they're clearly not going to take whatever was made and turn it into its own game.
No, so. I was really hoping, and I was, even up to this week, maybe there's going to be a surprise, just PSN, Xbox Marketplace game. No, didn't turn up, which is a shame. I hope maybe in the next couple of weeks there might be still a chance, but I think it's dead in the water at this point.
They might try to get something like around the time the DVD comes out, but not likely. I think. Like we've said before, they're behind the ball on getting everything, and getting these new products out. The Disney Infinity cancellation was probably only made a couple of days before they actually announced it. So
it definitely feels. It really kind of is starting to feel like we are very much in that kind of. We are well into the lull now. We've had a few sort of. Games coming through. We only had Pure, which was a Disney game, come on to backwards compatibility this week. We've seen a couple of re-releases. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we start seeing a few more ports from the older consoles, literally to get something. The big one that kind of has got me thinking really was Cars 3. Because obviously we had the first teaser trailer, which this is the new dark and gritty Lightning McQueen.
Right.
Are they going to try and get a game out for this? It might be rushed, but then they would have had nearly a year to work on it. I feel like they might have missed an opportunity if they don't go for something.
Yeah. Well, Cars 3, especially, it shouldn't be hard for them to put together a racing game of some sort for it. That was what the Disney Infinity Pack was. It was a racing one, a little bit repetitive. Well, a lot repetitive. And, both Cars and Cars 2 had racing game tie-ins. It would make sense for Cars 3. Plus, not to say they're easy, but relatively speaking, a racing game is much easier to put together than, say, an action platformer or whatever. So, Cars 3. I haven't seen the teaser. I have to admit, Cars and Cars 2 and Good Dinosaur are the only Pixar movies that haven't really clicked for me, so my excitement for Cars 3 is not very high.
See,
at all.
I always loved Cars. It was Cars 2 was a bit like it's like you're trying to do this spy thing. It's like you're shoehorning this. You had a gimmick and you're not really embracing it. You're doing. It's like if you'd just gone on a around the world trip for Formula One, that would have been fine. I just didn't need all the spy stuff thrown into it. But yeah, I think Cars 3 is going back to its roots by the looks of it. Being back to racing, but no, I'm still hopeful that they've had time, because they would have had nearly a year if they were working on stuff beforehand. It's the same with Pirates of the Caribbean, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a lot of stuff that they were working on, and Ragnarok, where they've got a little bit more time to get stuff sorted. If they were working on a project, or also more importantly, maybe outsource it, license it to somebody else to whack something out. It's like it would have been cool if. Like the people that did like the karting stuff got cars. They might have been able to turn that around quicker because that's their expertise. A kart racer with Lightning McQueen and stuff would be a lot of fun.
I'm just picturing Lightning McQueen in a cart right now, like Mario Kart with Lightning McQueen, but Lightning McQueen's not the car; he's driving the car. It would be trippy. Yeah.
I also wonder, like, with the Switch, and that kind of be the new, like, 3DS, because that's, I think, really going to be a new core audience for kid console gamers, and that's going to be able to be transformed then over the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I do wonder if the Switch is going to be exactly what us as Disney fans might be able to get a bit more gaming from the Disney side out, because people will be working on games for that platform.
I mean, we hope so. Obviously, we don't know power specs yet. We don't know anything really. We just know what it looks like, and it's portable, and you can plug it into a TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be. Hopefully, it is. I would love if Nintendo and Disney really kind of banded together and revolutionize is a bad word, but like if they really kind of took gaming in a different direction and made some good games on it.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think Disney, they're in that point of view that I think they know that movie tie-ins directly maybe aren't the key thing. Mobile apps and stuff is the way to go forward. But if you have a brand, if they make a Cars video game, it doesn't necessarily have to be connected with free. They can just throw in some cars from the new movies. And there hasn't, there was a lot of Cars games from the previous ones. I don't know. Cars always seemed like a natural selection, and I think they could just, they could put out a Cars game for Christmas next year, and it would still be a big hit. But I don't know. It definitely feels like we've said, we're in the luck. We know we've got Kingdom Hearts 2.8 and Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 for the sort of winter spring of 2017. But other than that, we know very, very little about any future content, because like you said, they're all getting licenses sorted this last few months, I think.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hoping, as you alluded to, that we don't really get movie tie-ins so much as stuff that comes out in like the same time frame. Like a Thor game that came out around the time Ragnarok comes out, but isn't connected to Ragnarok.
Yeah,
could be a lot of fun. I think a big part of the problem with movie tie-in games ends up being trying to tie in too much to the movie, where they should probably just tell their own story.
Yeah.
And then also, we might see a movement again towards more mashup style games. I think that the popularity of Infinity, also the commotion over Kingdom Hearts, where they're getting 1, 2, and 3 all out there. We could see more games in that vein where, rather than a Moana tie-in game, you have Moana appearing in another game.
Yeah.
Obviously, this works in the mobile market, and we might start seeing it a lot more in the console and PC market. At least I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it definitely is going to be interesting where they go with it all. But it is kind of cool to see like what they've done. I have got no doubts at all that once Disney get online and get their licensing sorted out, we are going to start seeing much more content coming from different developers, because that's how it's going to... if you look back at the history of Disney, mashups work, and I think that's part of it, but they can kind of sell that to somebody else, and they can sell this. I just think it's taken games take years to develop. So, basically the reset button got hit in June, and now that's why, we're 3-4 months later and we know very, very little. It's the same thing with Star Wars. We're not really, I don't think we're going to hear anything much more about Battlefront 2 till E3, if not when they do their special presentation. Because, in all fairness, they're going to have Rogue One coming out in a couple of weeks, which is kind of the last big release for us this year. So, yeah, it's hard to know exactly what next year's going to bring. But we're going to be doing all of that in our 2017 episode, where we will try and discuss our predictions for next year. Hopefully, we'll actually have some.
Disney Infinity 4.0. That's my prediction.
Yeah, Skylanders with Infinity figures.
You know what, Skylanders or Lego Dimensions with Star Wars characters, I would not mind.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Though I can't help but feel like the wind has gone out of the sails out of the entire market at the minute. It feels very much like, I'm already seeing the Skylanders heavily discounted already, and it's like and I can't help but think with this Black Friday stuff going on, it's like, this game has not sold as well. This game has not sold as well. This game has not sold as well. Well, everyone knows that 2-3 weeks later, the games are heavily reduced. No wonder people are holding off.
Yeah. Why should anyone buy Skylanders the week it comes out if Black Friday is a month later and we know everything is going to be on sale? Same for Lego Dimensions. I ended up picking up a couple of Lego Dimensions figures from the most recent release, from the Fantastic Beasts and Gremlins and E.T. and all that stuff. How long ago did those come out? Like a week? They were while I was in England, I think. So not even 2 weeks, and I could already get 3 of them for $20, which is like $6 per fun pack. Yeah. That's nothing.
No, and I still feel like, if we, like you say, how many of the Harry Potter collections are they going to sell more than the Fantastic Beasts set? I think they'll sell more. I still think that the single game will sell better than any expansion pack.
Yep. I can't disagree, especially since it sounds like a lot of people have been picking up the double pack of Harry Potter, the re-release for the Xbox One and PS4. So,
yeah. It's definitely, like I said, I'm not entirely convinced. I'm actually, even now, it's like with them, I've got Sonic and I got a few things from Lego Dimensions, and I'm sitting there going, especially as I'm packing to move and I'm boxing everything up, and they're going, why have I brought all of this stuff? Because it's all, it's just like, I really should not be buying this much stuff because it goes so quickly. But anyway, I'm just having a look here on our show notes to see what else kind of came out over the last couple of weeks. Oh, well, a quick story about Amazon are running a casual esports event called Amazon's Champions of Fire. Brings together 16 of the world's greatest celebrity video game streamers who will battle across 5 popular casual mobile games for a share of $100,000 cash, which will be taking place on December the 2nd in Paris, Las Vegas. And it'll be shown on the CBS network in a 2-hour special featuring highlights from the event. And how does it connect with Disney? Well, Disney Crossy Roads is going to be one of the 5 games. Along with, we've also got Fruit Ninja, Pac-Man, Bloons Tea Battle, and 8 Ball. I've only ever heard of 2 of them. So, interesting to see kind of Disney Crossy Roads in a competitive esports competition.
Well, I mean, competitive might be a little generous in this case, but yeah, it is good to see it. There's going to be a 2-hour CBS special. It's going to be basically free advertising for Crossy Roads, and people are going to go pick it up.
Yeah, it's
free, but you know what I mean.
It definitely feels like this esports stuff is big. I mean, we talked about it with Marvel Vs Capcom. You can see it's becoming more and more popular because for us now, we're all growing up with video games and the competitive. We understand the competitive mode of it better. I'm going to be honest, see someone running around playing football. Okay, but when you see someone playing a good video game, people can appreciate it more than they used to. And I know the fact that it's being shown on CBS, I mean, usually mainstream media stays about as far away from video games news because they still think it's 1960.
Well, no, they love it when video games are in the news because it's normally because some kid is citing GTA 5 as the reason they decide to go steal a car or something like that. But yeah, this should be positive. Crossy Roads, I was thinking about it at first. I was like, why would you do Crossy Roads? And then I figure it's basically Frogger.
Yeah.
So it actually does lend itself pretty well. There is a certain element of randomness, well, a very heavy sense of randomness to the level generation, which makes me wonder about its competitiveness. But this is a very casual
tournament.
Competitive competition, so...
Yeah. Can't wait for the Kingdom Hearts speedruns, which they've got like 15 hours to run through the game.
Kingdom Hearts and speedrun are words that don't go together.
I've been distracted by Watch Dogs. It's like I'm sitting. I'm still like I've got to get through 1 before 2.8 comes out because I know it's like I'm at that point. I'm about 15 hours into Kingdom Hearts 1. When it gets re-released on the PlayStation 4, I just want to jump straight into the next game of the series then, and I'm like, I do not want to play Kingdom Hearts 1 again. I've done it. I've played the first 5 hours twice. I don't want to play it a third time on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, obviously it'll be my first experience with Kingdom Hearts, but I'm trying to clear out as much of my gaming backlog as possible before Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 re-release pops in on the PlayStation Store. Yeah,
I'm trying to rush. I'm going to get through Watch Dogs 2 in the next week because I know I've got a couple of video games for Christmas for my wife. So it's like I know January and then there's going to be Kingdom Hearts. So it's like, yeah. I keep looking at Final Fantasy this week going, no, you've never played a Final Fantasy game. You haven't got time to play it. It might look fun. It was fun when you demoed it, but you haven't got time to play it. Get Kingdom Hearts 1 out of the way.
If I want to play a Final Fantasy game, I'll honestly go back and play 6 or 7 again. I know 15 is just coming out, and everyone's like super excited and on board for it. I'm just like, I don't care. I really don't care. These characters do nothing for me.
Me neither. I think, I had to be honest, I think had I not been at EGX, and I demoed it there and I saw all the big chickens running around and I maybe kind of they hooked me a little bit because I did try it and I'd never played a Final Fantasy game, so that was like my first experience was 15. So I'm kind of at the thing where I have the idea of going, it's like, but then it's quite daunting when you think Kingdom Hearts, well, you know, Final Fantasy 15. I've never played the other 14. Maybe I should just leave this series alone.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but on the flip side, one of the advantages to Final Fantasy is there's no interconnection between the titles other than some common themes.
Yeah.
So you can play 15 without playing 1 through 14, and you will be missing absolutely nothing except for a couple of in-jokes, like Biggs and Wedge always show up. There'll be a character named Sid. You'll have the Chocobos. There'll be a Bahamut. There'll be Alexander and Odin and all this stuff. But it's not even like an in-joke. It's just... Yeah. They're always in the games.
It's kind of that thing. I think because I've been playing Kingdom Hearts, playing like Kingdom Hearts 3, 5, 8 while I was on vacation. You know, some of these characters that like Cloud and stuff. Now I know they're Final Fantasy characters. I'm a little bit more. I'm kind of slightly more aware of them a little bit more. But that's kind of this big release. But I am feeling like avoid. You haven't got time for it. Get Kingdom Hearts 1 out of the way, before 2.8 comes out.
Now, speaking of Final Fantasy, one of the Black Friday deals I did pick up was World of Final Fantasy, and I know that's not your type of game. We talked about it previously. You're not into the turn-based JRPG, but I am looking forward to digging into this because I love the JRPG genre. So that will probably be the thing that keeps me tided over until Kingdom Hearts for the most part.
Yeah, it's also obviously Sora's coming to the game, but it was actually kind of fun. Last night I was like Googling like Final Fantasy and doing a little bit of research on it, and I actually clicked on and it actually took me to a Disney page, and they had a whole like page set up about World of Final Fantasy on the Disney UK website, which I thought was a little bit like, oh, okay, this is a little bit more interesting. It's like it was like a partnered page, and I'm like, oh, it's odd having this full information page about Kingdom Hearts, about Final Fantasy or World of Final Fantasy on the Disney official website. I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit different.
Maybe you can unlock Moana as one of the creatures that you can summon in, I don't know, Maui, maybe?
I think Moana's already been added to Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, I think, recently as well. A game I just can't kind of... I keep trying to like, but I think I like the main Kingdom Hearts style of hack and slash, and I'm not so keen on the turn-based style. I think I've kind of very quickly learned that that's not my style of game.
I did enjoy Kingdom Hearts Unchained X, but the inventory system, the metal upgrading, and all that stuff just got too tedious, and I stopped caring. If they gave you a bigger inventory, if I didn't need to keep getting rid of metals and so forth, I'd probably still be playing it because I do enjoy it. But it fell too heavily into the free-to-play trap of making it pay-to-play, and I was you know what? I've got other games to play. I don't need to worry about this.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to watching the back cover movie, which kind of explains a lot of the stuff that happened in that game. So that should be a little bit more interesting. Let's have a look here. Marvel Heroes. I can't remember if we mentioned these before, but Jubilee and Medusa are going to be team-ups. They were announced in the live stream a couple of weeks ago. And Black Bolt will also be the next champion, or be as being sort of confirmed for After Beast.
Yeah, Black Bolt and Beast we obviously already knew about.
Yeah.
I think they revealed some costumes for Beast as well. And then Medusa, I mean, it's not a surprise, but I don't think they'd officially announced her. Jubilee, I think they'd mentioned previously, but now we got some concept art. They're team-ups, so at this point I don't really care that much. I don't know if either of them are part of the advance pack for people who bought the premium one.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are.
Okay, so then cool. I'll end up getting them. I know you'll end up getting them. We'll play with them and have fun with them. I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Jubilee. She's one of the popular X-Men characters. I know that Lem, who used to be very big in the Disney Infinity scene, he did The Breakfast with the Bad Gamer, is a massive Jubilee fan, so I'm going to see if I can get him to play the game a little bit. Yeah,
I must admit, I on Black Friday, I logged in and got my Black Cat figure, or character, and was playing with her for about an hour or so, leveling her up. And I can I'm starting to, I can see, like, the game, how they've been making some of the changes recently, the movement and the torpedo, and they're going, they are full steam ahead on this change to the system. I know there's a lot of discussion over in the Reddit and the forums about, in the test center, about people wanting it to be put back, and they don't like the new system, and they don't like it, and, maybe saying about them not listening to the feedback. And because they're sort of saying, well, they're so sort of hell-bent on going forward with this plan that they've got. And I can kind of see in some ways that if they have got this, and a lot of people now are starting to kind of say, the console ports, everything is now pointing in that one direction. And obviously they just need to get 2016 out of the way for when they relaunch it and rebrand it. But all these big changes they're making, the way they're making it, they're basically upgrading the whole of the internal game at the moment. So while they've got like different events going on, there are some massive change. And I go in, it's just like me now. The other day, I'm sat there playing with Black Cat, new character, Xbox controller on my screen, and going, I just want to play this properly and pick it up and just play it. And for me, I still consider myself a newbie, even though I've put in countless hours into it. For me, this is what the game can go after a new audience, where the PC version just can't really do much more with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the changes are up on the test center, which is publicly available. I have not logged into it, and I'm not really planning to. I'm just going to wait for them to do an official release. But, people are leaving the feedback. We're hearing good things. We're hearing bad things. I think the complaint that I hear most is changes to the dash abilities.
Yeah.
I guess they're normalizing it, making it the same for everybody, which, whatever. We'll see how it actually pans out once they come out.
I think as well as they don't want people to keep running through the levels to get to the bosses. They're trying to slow you down.
Yes. I mean, that's obviously a major problem as a developer, because you've put all this time into developing the level, and people are just running to the end to fight Magneto, and they're not fighting all his henchmen, and they're not fighting Pyro, and it's just... I mean, I get it though. The loot, the way their loot system is set up, all the loot is on the bosses. Yeah. The chances of you getting something worthwhile off of a trash mob are infinitesimal. There's no incentive to kill these mobs at all. So unlike, say, World of Warcraft, the preeminent MMO, which in theory you can get just about anything off of any character except for the top tier of the top tier.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm going to be honest. The minute this gets out, the minute this comes out on consoles, I know I will be even heavier in. For me, because it's like in the evening, I sit back and I fire up my PlayStation or Xbox, and I play for a couple hours every night. I don't do that with the PC. It's just not quite the same. Usually, I'm multi-screening as well. I might be watching a podcast or the WWE Network on my laptop while I'm playing a game. That's usually how I kind of sort of spend maybe that's the thing of PC gaming for me, is just that issue for that. But yeah, I can't wait for it. And I think these iterations, it's always hard if you've been a long-term player of any game, whenever they make a big change, it's always hard to adjust. And you like the game that they currently do, so you don't want them touching it. It's the same with everything, I remember, Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario going to, 3D from after you were used to 2D. It took there was a big hoopla about that. You had, even to Final Fantasy 15, not being turn-based and being more Kingdom Hearts based is, a lot of people aren't too keen on that.
No, there's always going to be issues and changes, and some of the changes will be good. They'll simplify some things, and some of the changes will be awful, and you'll be sitting there going, why did you change this? It worked just fine the way it was. We'll just have to see if the number of changes that are good outweigh the number of changes that are bad. And also, hopefully the game, especially if it does make it to consoles, will get a lot of new players coming in.
Yeah.
And hopefully these changes, which might not be great for longtime players, will be very good for new players, so they don't get overwhelmed with the number of items you need, the number of currencies there are, figuring out what items are, good for which slot that they are. Because right now, the comparison system is, this item better than that item? I don't have a clue. Just throw it in there and see what happens.
Yeah, and also, I never really felt like it ever really explained it. Of what, even in the tutorial, it's like, well, you can craft stuff.
The crafting's terrible.
But you're like, why? What? I've got, and again, every time I log in, I have to clear out my inventory before I know, because the minute I start playing, I'm going to be pulling in all the boots and the shards and all that. You're like, I don't really, and you've got all that big loot of stuff, and your instant thing is like, grab it all.
Yeah.
And when you go. Yeah, I don't. It's like, why is it distributed 15 pairs of boots at once?
So I'm at the point in the game, even if I play a brand new character, like if I get Beast, well, I will get Beast because I have the advanced pack, but when I get Beast, I'm not going to pick up any item that's not a unique. Gray items, definitely not. Purple items, no. Not even going to pick up cosmic items. It's just like, if it's not a unique, it's not worth my time to pick it up.
No.
So,
but no, that's cool. I think it's definitely going to be. I think for me, it feels like it's one of the big interesting games to kind of kick into. Once again, I think there's a new expansion pack for Star Wars: The Old Republic as well. Again, another PC game that I want to get into, but just haven't got around to it. I know that we're literally expecting also Star Wars Battlegrounds is set to launch imminently. I think they got pre-ordering is now available, pre-launch kind of, that's getting ready to go soon. But again, I think they may be waiting for Rogue One to get a little bit closer before they pull the trigger on that one.
I'm getting, you mentioned this, the pre-order thing. It's like they're getting weird with their mobile games now. Where they're like, pre-order this free mobile game. I'm like, but wait, it's free. Yeah. But register in advance and you'll get such and such item when the game launches. And like, well, just give us the item anyway. Yeah, and it's like, I can understand it's like, hyping the game up before really, because they don't do the whole pre-order thing, but you just sort of kind of go, whatever. And how many times have I seen to do this pre-registering and it doesn't work? Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what, guys, I get it. You're trying to be like, oh, let's have you post it to Twitter and Facebook and it'll be its own viral marketing campaign, but you know what, just let it go, guys. Yeah. Let it go. I think that pretty much wraps up all the news for the last couple of weeks. Also, the pinball game got released in Europe. Right. I'm waiting to pick that one up. I'm still like, I was trying there the other day, and I was actually doing up the math of whether or not it was cheaper to get the tables individually or buy the pack, because I didn't need two of them. And then I'm there going, is PlayStation going to have a store? I was going, Black Friday, is there going to be a 40% discount on tables? No, there wasn't, but that was what I was. But I mean, for the digital games, Black Friday doesn't make too much sense anyway. I would wait for this afternoon when Cyber Monday starts, and this is where we're more likely to see Xbox and PlayStation Store stuff. I know there was stuff on Black Friday, but I mean, this new Cyber Monday seems to be, the digital holiday. So we'll see what happens today.
I think as well, it's like this. It's what really bugged me with Black Friday was like, you see all these big games like Rise of the Tomb Raider and Titanfall 2 and all these kind of games, and it's like, why is the PlayStation Store, even when they are reduced on the Black Friday, still more expensive than the Black? It's like you should be cheaper. They are not making anything. It's like, I know the stores are more heavily discounting, but you do start going, well, game X is this much in the store. It's more digital. It's like Watch Dogs. Well, yeah, and WWE. I picked up the WWE 2K17 game because it was half price on like that Black Friday deal, and it's like it was $29.99. It was $59.99 on the digital, and then they reduced it to $35. It's like, even in the sale, it was more expensive than the sale. It was just like, yeah.
And then you can always just be like, all right, well, I bought it for $30 or £30 physically. Eventually, the digital version drops down to $10, and then you just trade in the physical version and pick up the digital version down the road.
Except for when I put in WWE 45 gig download. And I'm like, I had to delete nearly every single game in my catalog to download. And I'm like I'm sitting there going, I really do need a new hard drive for this PlayStation, because it's like, and I'm there going, the joy of day one patches of between that and Lego Dimensions both came up at the same time, going, I can't download this lot, just cancel. I'm just play whatever's. The joys of day one. It's like literally get in, put the game in, and then go off for a day.
Or 3.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think that pretty much wraps up all of this week's news. So we'll be back next week with another episode. We're going to be also sort of starting to build up on a few episodes over the coming weeks, where we'll be for the holidays break, because we're not going to be. The plan is not to stop. We're just going to record some little ones for you guys in between. But also, I'm also moving in the middle of it. So next year, when we come back after our holidays. The plan is to be able to. It should be a little bit clearer and crisper when I can kind of have nice high-speed fiber broadband, and I can also start doing some streaming on like video games that aren't at like 240p.
Oh right, streaming is a thing. I forgot about that.
Apparently so, yeah. I'd like to try it out. I've tried it a few times, and every single time I watched it back and go, yeah, you really can't do this. As the characters just start jumping around, it's like, yeah, this is just not going to work. But no, so.
Even on a good connection, you want to be wired in and not doing Wi-Fi and stuff like that, as I've discovered. So it's
yes, and I'm also, when I move into my new house as well, I am getting the smallest little bedroom as a new studio. So I will have like my own little dinky little man cave as well, so I can actually leave the stuff like this up and the camera's set up, so I can make videos a little bit easier than having to keep setting it all up all the time. So that'll be quite nice. In theory, until it becomes a laundry room.
Laundry room, or it's going to be the home for all your Vinylmations, or just a storage room.
Yeah. I think my wife is basically just looking at, we're going to put all your toys into the little closet, and that's where you can put. That never works. But good luck. Yes, it's also the fact I am literally moving house a few days before Christmas, so that's going to be fun. So. We're not doing anything on Christmas Day. We can all have the family together and help us move. That'll be a good.
Merry Christmas! Now pack that box.
Yeah. And then can you paint the living room when we leave?
Yeah. So instead of opening presents, you guys are packing boxes.
Yeah, it's good. Fun. It's good. I mean, Christmas is like, we're not putting up any decorations in this flat. It's great. It's kind of going to be nice, and we're not putting up the Christmas tree till probably about the 23rd.
I don't have any decorations here because my cats would just destroy them.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah. So there's positive for this. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. As per usual, check out our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. You can also find us on YouTube. You can find the audio versions as well on the different platforms. James, where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at vagabondpeak.com, and that's it.
Yes.
I might actually even be closing my Twitter account. I've checked it once since I got home, read about 3 tweets. I was just like, you know what? I don't care. And then I went somewhere else on the internet. So,
You're just going to be using Pinterest.
No. If I'm gonna have something on the internet, it's gonna be MySpace. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring back MySpace.
Yes. So it's the social ways. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and we shall see you guys in next week's episode. Laters.
Later.
Laters.
Later.